Welcome back to another class on Gemara Journey with Rashi. We are in Masechet Berachot in Daf Amud Bet. This will be part 7 of the Shi'ur. Today we want to speak about the importance of praying Mincha all the time. Now when I'm going to speak about praying Mincha, it's not only to show up and pray Mincha, but it's actually to pray Mincha with Kavanah. A lot of us, when it comes to Shacharit, we prepare for Shacharit. We put on talit, tefillin, we say Birkat Shachar, we wash our hands. There's a lot of things that we do before we come and pray Shacharit. We say Karbanot, we say Baruch Shamar, Yishabach, Shema, Shemna Esrei, Asher, Walatzion, and so on and so forth, all the way up until Oleinu Shemech. We say the whole Shacharit prayer. We ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for our sustenance and for whatever else we need. But why is it when it comes to Mincha, a lot of times you see either people come to shul and they daven by rote just to get over with it, or either some people don't even come and daven the Mincha prayer. Now, Rabotai, today we're going to see a very beautiful Gemara that if a person wants to be answered, not to say that you shouldn't pray Aravit or Shacharit, because we'll see that also you have to be careful in, but if a person wants to be answered, a person has to always be careful to pray the Mincha prayer. And we'll see why, because the Gemara is going to bring down a story between Eliyahu Hanavi and the Nevi'eh Baal, the prophets of the Baal, that they worshipped this foreign god. If you guys recall, there was a story between Eliyahu Hanavi and the prophets of the Baal. They both made an altar, a Mizbeach, where they were going to sacrifice an animal on it. Now, the Nevi'eh Baal said to Eliyahu Hanavi, you're going to say that God should bring down fire and consume the korban, and we're going to tell our God that he should bring down the fire which is going to consume our korban. And the Jewish people were confused. They didn't know who to follow. They were actually tilting more with the false prophets. However, what happened was, HaKadosh Baruch Hu did a miracle. When the Nevi'eh Baal started saying, please Hashem, right, to their God of course, please bring out the fire, bring down the fire and consume our korban. Show the Jewish people that you are the real God. There was somebody underneath the altar trying to light up a fire to make the whole thing to go up in flames. But Hashem did a miracle. He made a snake come out and bite that person and kill him on the spot. So no fire came out. Then Eliyahu Hanavi came. Eliyahu Hanavi took a bull. He cut it up in pieces. He put it on the maracha. He put it on the wooden beams. And then he told the people, bring 4 jars of water. Spill it on the animal. Spill it on the wood. I want people to see that this is all the work of Hashem. Because water and fire, they don't go hand in hand. And when Eliyahu Hanavi said, Hashem, let fire come down and consume this korban, Rabotai, the fire came down and it consumed the korban. And the Jewish people started saying, Hashem hu Elokim, Hashem hu Elokim. When all this happened during the Mincha prayer, during that time. That's what we're going to see today in our Gemara, how important it is to always be careful when it comes to the Mincha prayer. Not only not to miss it, but to also when you're praying the Mincha prayer, give it importance just like you do when it comes for Shacharit. Begins the Gemara Masechet Berachot in Daf Amud Bet. Ve'amar Rabbi Chelbo, Amar Rav Huna, and Rabbi Chelbo said in the name of Rav Huna, Le'olam. What does this word Le'olam mean? We see it all the time. What does this word Le'olam mean? It can mean really, but a lot of times it means always. Now, whenever you have a language of always, you know what it means always? Constant. Amar Rabbi Chelbo, Amar Rav Huna, Le'olam, always, Ye Adam Zahir, a person should be careful, B'tefilat Mincha. Rabotai, why is it important for us to be very careful when it comes to the Mincha prayer? And I want to make this clear. It's not only davening the Mincha prayer, but it's how we daven. Because you never know, Rabotai, because that Mincha prayer might be the time that Hashem is actually listening to you. And you might get exactly what you're looking for. A lot of people, they'll daven Shacharit, and they'll ask for whatever they want. But they see that they're never answered. But there is a guarantee from the Gemara in Daf Vav Amud Bet in Masechet Berachot, where Eliyahu Navi was answered during Mincha. So how careful we have to be to daven Mincha prayer with Kavanah, and we should request whatever we need during the Mincha prayer. I know people, Rabotai, that towards the end of the Shemona Esrei, right, you know in Shema Kolenu you have the Tefillah for Parnasa, right, by the Baruchenu you also could ask for Parnasa. Also by Rafa'en you could ask for Refuah. However, towards the end of the Shemona Esrei there is a small, I don't have it with me here, but there is a prayer, I believe that Ben Israel did, the blessing for success for your children. And every Shemona Esrei he davens it. He showed it to me, he said he davens, but because he's a rabbi, so I told him I'm waiting for you also when it comes to the Mincha prayer. If I'm a Chazan, during Mincha I say I'm waiting for you. He says don't wait for me. I say why not? He says because Mincha is a very special time to pray to Hashem, and I want to make sure that I say this prayer that my children should be successful in Torah, in Yerushalayim, in Parnasa, in Shidduchim. It's a whole thing. So Rabotai, Mincha, which we try to get it over with, is not something we should take very lightly, because that is the prayer where you'll be answered more. Okay, so let's go back one more time to the Gemara. Ve'am Rabbi Chelba, Am Rav Huna, and Rabbi Chelba said in the name of Rav Huna, Le'olam, always, Ye Adam Zahir b'Tefilat Mincha. A person should be careful in the Mincha prayer. Why? Shaharei Eliyahu lo na'ana Eila b'Tefilat Mincha. Because Eliyahu Navi was only answered in the Mincha prayer. If Rabotai Eliyahu Navi was only answered in the Mincha prayer, who are we to say anything other? Rabotai, who are we to say anything else? If he was answered, he's giving us, Rabotai, how you guys want to call it, a segula to be answered, to answer your own prayers. Or better yet, that your prayers should be answered. This is the prayer you want to be able to daven. Because Eliyahu Hanavi was only answered in the Mincha prayer. How do we know? We need to bring pasukim. We need to have proofs. Sherema, like the pasuk states, Vayihi ba'alot ha-mincha, Vayigash Eliyahu Hanavi, Vegomer, Aneni Hashem Aneni. Now, before we continue the Gemara, let's go to the back of the book in Sefer HaMikraot. Let's see what these verses mean. If we look into Torah or Shalom, he says in Ot Tet, look into Sefer Melachim Aleph, Perik Yud Chet, Pasuk Lamed Vav, and Pasuk Lamed Zayin. Let's go to the back of the book. Let's see this. I have it on page Yud Aleph. The pasuk begins like this: Vayihi ba'alot mincha. And it was at the time when they brought the mincha offering. Vayigash Eliyahu Hanavi, and Eliyahu Hanavi, he came forth. Vayomar, and he said, Hashem Elohei Avraham Yitzchak v'Yisrael, the God of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Israel. Hayom, today, Yivada, is going to be known, Ki ata Elohim be'Israel, that you are the God amongst the Jewish people. Va'ani avdecha, and I am your servant. Ubidvarecha asit et kol advarim ha'ela, and with your words I did all of these things. Now, what is this passage going on? So if we look into the commentary before we even begin gives us a small introduction. He says, Mil'el Katuv, above this verse it's written, Sheliyahu bana mizbeach. Eliyahu Navi, he built an altar. Vayin tach et ha'pa'ar, and he cut the bull. Vayesem ala yitzim v'gomer, and he placed it on the wood, and etc. You have to finish it. What happens over there? The pasuk continues over there that he asked them to fill 4 jars with water and pour it over the burnt offering, and also to pour water over the wood 2 and 3 times. Rabotai, it's nuts. When you have a lot of water, how you want the fire to start? But that's what Eliyahu Hanavi did. He wanted to show the people that there is a God amongst the Jewish people. So now we're going to go ahead. So this is basically what's going on over here. After he did all this, now it says, when it says in the verse, Vayihi ba'alot mincha, and it was at the time when he offered the mincha offering. What does that mean? So he tells you over here in the commentary, ba'alot mincha, Be'ed ha'alat minchat ha'eruv. All this happened, listen to this carefully, at the time of the offering, of the afternoon offering. Hu tamid shel ben arbaim. This minchat ha'erev over here is the tamid shel ben arbaim. It is the constant daily offering of the afternoon. Now, Rabotai, I want to just show you something over here. We'll see Bezrat Hashem with Rabbi Yochanan. We'll see over here also with Rabbi Yochanan. He's going to tell you a person also has to be careful in the prayer of Aravit. Yeah, Rabbi Yochanan, you have to be careful in the prayer of Aravit. However, he's going to also bring down from, he's going to bring us proof from Minchat Erev. Minchat Erev literally means the evening sacrifice or the evening offering. However, why over here are we not learning that to be the evening sacrifice, which technically that's what it means? Because the commentary is telling us over here when it says, Vayihi ba'alot mincha, when it says over here, and that it was at the time when he offered the offering, which is technically the evening offering, he wants to tell you that this minchat ha'erev is tamid shel ben arbaim. He is defining to you what the minchat ha'erev is, which is the tamid, which means constant offering of the afternoon. Because you have to remember, we offered every single day 2 constant offerings, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. So this is what it's called, tamid shel ben arbaim. Okay. So let's continue. So one more time, ba'alot ha-mincha, and it was at the time when they offered the minchat ha'erev. Let me say it in Hebrew. It sounds better. And it was at the time when they offered the minchat ha'erev. What is the minchat ha'erev in this case? Hu ha-tamid shel ben arbaim. It is the tamid shel ben arbaim. It is the constant offering of the afternoon offering. Then the pasuk continues to say, Vayigash Eliyahu Hanavi. And Eliyahu Hanavi, he went forth, he approached. Where did Eliyahu Hanavi go? So the commentary says, Vayigash El Hashem Litpalel. He went, Rabotai, he approached HaKadosh Baruch Hu to pray to him. Right over here. Vayigash Eliyahu Hanavi. And Eliyahu Hanavi went forth to do what? Where did he go forth? Who did he want to approach? Vayigash El Hashem Litpalel. He approached Hashem to pray to him. This is why, Rabotai, it's very important always to know the Pasuk, to be able to break it down. You're able to have a better understanding, and then you're going to be able to puzzle it back with the Gemara, as we'll see. Continues back into the Pasuk. Vaigash Eliyahu Hanavi, and Eliyahu Hanavi, he went forth. He came forth to daven to Hashem. Vayomar, and he said, Hashem Elohei Avraham Yitzchak v'Yisrael, that the God of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Israel, Hayom Yivada, today it is going to be known. If we look into the commentary, what does it mean that today it's going to be known? He says, Kasher tered ha'esh yivada hayom vegomer. When he say over here, after Vaigash Eliyahu Hanavi, after when Eliyahu Hanavi approached Hashem to daven to him, then it says, Hayom Yivodah, that today is going to be known. What's going to be known today? So you have to read it like this. Ka'asher tered ha'esh, once, or better yet, when the fire is going to come down, then Hashem, today is going to be known. Okay, that's how you're going to read the verse. So one more time. So let's just do the pasuk one more time. Vayi ba'alot mincha, at the time when they offered the tamid shel ben arbaim. Okay, remember that all this is happening when? During the mincha period, because that's what we want to see. Vaigash Eliyahu Hanavi, and Eliyahu Hanavi, he went forth. Where did he go forth? To down to Hashem. Vayomar, and he said, Hashem Elohei Avraham Yitzchak v'Yisrael, the God of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Israel. Ka'asher tered ha'esh, when the fire is going to come down, Hayom Yivudah, today is going to be known, Ki ata Elohim b'Yisrael, that you are the God amongst the Jewish people. Va'ani avdecha, and I am your servant. Ubidvarecha asit et kol hadvarim ha'ila, and I did all these things with your words. Why do you have to say that I did all these things with your words? So the commentary explains to us, when it says "Ubedvarecha siti shekaravti bema b'shat Isra bamot," because Rabotai, we have to understand like this. When it says over there "Ubedvarecha siti," that I did all this, meaning bringing the bull on the altar to try to prove to the people that there is one God in the world, the real God, not the fake God. He said, I did it with your words. Do you know why? Because the commentary explains, shekaravti b'bema b'shat Isra bamot. Because Eliyahu Navi, he was sacrificing an animal, right? So he was sacrificing on the bama, which is on the altar. Bishat at the time, Isr habamot at the time when you were not allowed to actually sacrifice animals. That's why the pasuk had to say, "Ubedvarecha asit." I did it with your words, because you have to remember, Rabotai, that there was times when everybody was able to do their own korbanot, even outside of the mizbeach. That's why it's called a bama. Bama is literally means on the altar. But also there was a time when there was asur for people to do it, and you were only allowed to do it in the times in the Beit HaMikdash itself. Comes Eliyahu Navi and he says, this whole situation with Eliyahu Navi and the Nivei Abal was when it was at the time when it was asur to sacrifice animals outside of the Beit HaMikdash. But the problem was what? He had to prove to the people that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is one. So what ended up happening? He ended up saying that everything that I'm doing it with your words, even though it is asur for me to do it. Okay. Now that is one pasuk. Now we're going to move on to the next pasuk. The next pasuk said, Aneni Hashem Aneni. Here we go. Answer me Hashem, answer me. From here, Rabotai, we see that Eliyahu Navi only got answered on Mincha prayer, because all this is happening when? During the Tamisha Ben Arbaim, which is in the afternoon, which is the afternoon prayer.